Hello and welcome to the Gemhawks YouTube channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day today, no matter what it is you're doing. For our free tutorial here on YouTube today, we're going to go for a super easy, super fast make. Now, I don't know about you, but I've got lots and lots of leftover beads from projects. What a great noise that is. So I thought today we could make some bead stash earrings. Let's head down to the board, take a close look at the examples, and then we'll make one together today. I promise it's super fast, super easy. So I have a couple of examples here. What will you need for today's tutorial? A couple of matched beads, a bead cap, and either a tassel or a charm or a bead that you can turn into a charm. Really, whatever you fancy. If you're going for matched earrings, which I thoroughly endorse having asymmetrical ones, but if you want matched, all you need is 2 of each. Plus, of course, an ear wire, or you could make your own. So I'm going to recreate this little design here, which is from the Vibrant Iris mix from my friends at Jessie Dames, including these beautiful almost art deco bead caps. I've got an elongated bead that fits on 1mm 18 gauge. I've got the fanciest rondelle that fits on 1mm or 18 gauge. I've also got a charm that I'm going to add down at the bottom. If you wanted to rifle through your bead stash, you could just get yourself a matched pair of whatever it is you need. So to begin with, step 1, I have a 4-inch scrap here of 1mm or 18 gauge wire, and I'm just going to make sure that the end is flush cut. And then I'm going to give that a really lovely warm through. Now the tools I'm using today are bent chain nose pliers, flush cutters, and either round nose pliers or my memory wire finishing pliers, which is the one I'm going to use today. If you don't have these, they come from my good pals at Beadalon, and they're very, very useful for creating over and over again the same size loop when you start looping. So I'm going to use the smaller side of my little pliers, and I'm going to generate the first part of a loop. Just less than a full circle there before switching to my bent chain nose pliers and completing that circular form just by pushing that into my non-dominant hand. Now the slower you go with spirals, the neater and flatter they are. What you'll notice with this spiral is I've gone around twice from that start point, and I've got a really good central aperture to work with. Once I'm happy with that form, I'm going to give it a really hearty squish down. I'm going to flip it over into my other hand, put my pliers underneath so you can see what's happening. Any flat facing pliers, any chain nose pliers will work for this, and I'm just going to push the tail of wire away so that it creates a nice lollipop shape, straight line coming away from that central aperture. So I'm just going to make sure that that first piece is nice and strong by giving that a little bit of an om-nom with my bent chain nose pliers. Flip that around, and before we add on our chosen beads, we're going to decide what we want to add down at the bottom. Now I'd quite like to have this beautiful little leaf charm, so I am going to use a little jump ring. Now, if you don't have a jump ring in the correct wire, I'm just going to show you very, very quickly, cheaty way to get one made up. So I'm going to show you a cheaty way to make an emergency jump ring in the same colour wire that you're working with. My gorgeous friend Fleur at Relax and Craft makes gorgeous saw cut jump rings in lots of different colours, sizes, gauges, inner diameters, outer diameters, all of the things that I don't really understand about chainmail. She's got you covered. However, if you need one in a pinch, this will get you through. So let's head back down to the board and make a handful of emergency jump rings. So I have another scrap length. This is about 3 or 4 inches of that 1mm or 18 gauge wire. The end's a little bit rough, so I'm going to trim that away. And again, I'm going to grab hold of those ever so useful memory wire finishing pliers. You could, of course, use your round nose pliers or any of the maybe number 3 or number 4 pins on your multi-step bail makers. What we're going to do is to create a little bit of a coil. When you're creating a coil on a set of pliers like so, you want the cut end to be moving away from the box joint so that you can easily see how much you need. So I'm just going to go for a couple of loosey-goosey rotations. Now you'll notice I'm making a little bit of an open spring shape there. The reason for this is that it's much easier for me to then come as close as possible and cut with the flush side of my good flush cutters. So let's just trim away the end, and you'll see that I've used the flush side to give a nice flush aspect just here. I'm now going to flip my pliers over so the flush cutters are facing towards me instead. And I'm going to try and get as close as possible to a straight line with that cut end. Just drop that down. So I've got some more little available jump rings on that spring, but I'll deal with those later. So I'm going to grab another pair of those chain nose pliers, and I'm just going to see how big the gap is between those two ends. So if I straighten that up, you can see that there is a gap in there. We don't want there to be a gap, so I'm just going to hold across the rounded side opposite to where the cut is and just bring those two together. So you need to give that a bit of a grip, get that set so that it's nice and circular. So pretty much in a pinch, that is going to do. Those two ends sit neatly against each other. And now I'm happy with the shape and the closure. I'm just going to give that a bit of a squish. I'm then going to open it back up because we're about to use it. So let's pick up that little lollipop of wire that we created, add the jump ring into the bottom, and then we're going to add in our charm or tassel of choice. Does mean that you need to make sure that there's enough of a gap in your charm to fit on that 18 gauge wire. Sometimes you get a little bit of the plating sticking out. Let's grip with those two sets of chain nose pliers and just close that up. Now I'm going to give this a little bit of a wiggle just to make sure that those two cut ends neatly mesh together. You can always give that another little subtle push. So that's the drop part of our emergency or bead stash earrings. We're now going to introduce our lovely bead cap on. Now I love these bead caps because they kind of give you a little bit of an elegant hint, a little bit like a fairy skirt or something. So you can see some of that double spiral, but it's also just dangling down over the top. I really like that effect, but obviously you can use whichever bead cap you fancy. Then I'm going to add in my gorgeous faceted. It's so much more than a rondelle. It's got gorgeous triangle facets that then lead onto a faceted side as well. Beautiful beads. Just going to make sure that my wire is nice and straight so that I can add this elegant top to bottom drilled briolette, or briolet if you prefer, cut bead. Lovely faceting, lovely colours. And again, this is from the Vibrant Iris mix. You can use anything that you fancy from your bead mix. So I'm going to show you that there are two sides to the charm I'm using, and I want to make sure that they're the same as they sit on the ear. So I'm just going to ensure that that's nice and flat, cover the top of that bead with my thumb and bring that wire forwards. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I'm working with crystal, which is a treated glass, and I don't want to put any pressure on the delicate end of that bead. I'm going to use the smaller side of my memory wire finishing pliers to create a simple loop up at the top. Draw that wire all the way around. You'll see we've got that little loop shape. And then we're going to trim that away as close to the angle change at the top of that bead as possible. Probably save that for later for something else. And then I just need to make sure that I can close up, helps if you get the right pliers, close up that loop neatly, give it a squish and a squeeze, just to make sure that that's super strong, and then we can add it into our earring finding. So this is a standard ball and spring earring finding. It's in a different colour to my metal that I'm using, but I like mixing metals up. I'm holding the earring away from me so that this will be the front side. So I need to make sure that my right side of that charm appears. So let's open half of that loop down at the bottom, like you're opening a jump ring. Check out the orientation, and then we're going to add that into position. And as I always do, I've put it on the wrong way round every single time. I try to think about it and then my brain just stops. So let's close that little earring loop back up, pop it down on the board, and hopefully it's the right way round. Almost never is though. So there are your Bead Stash earrings made in just a couple of minutes. If you are newer to wire work, that's why I go through it very, very detailed so that you can get involved. But I think you'll agree that they're super fast, super easy and very low cost. Really easy, very, very cost effective. Now, if you make jewellery to sell or you spend time at craft fairs, these are the perfect design for you to knock up in moments. They cost you very little in time and materials, and you can sell them for a few pounds or a few dollars just to kind of cover your costs, really. It can certainly interest a lot of people just to come over and have a chat with you if you've got some very affordable pieces on your table. I wish you all the very best for your day, and I look forward to seeing you back again very soon. Bye for now.